Hey everybody, Edgy Tim. Appreciate everybody stopping by to watch and for some reason humor me and think I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to making my weekly selections in the Beat Edgy Weekly, which at this point, if you're not beating me weekly, you got some issues because I am not having a good year so far. I'm 16 and actually no, I'm 17 and 10 on the year. All right, 17 times. 17 and 13 on the year. It'd be nice if I could do math. Again, so not a spectacular year for me so far, but I'm hoping we settle in here and I can put together a couple of good weeks here back to back. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So week 4 selections, let's go through them. I am taking and there's a couple of games here that man could go either way, and this is one of them. I'm gonna take Brother Rice at home over Marist. I think the Red Hawks, coming off a loss. Actually, they're both coming off losses from last week, which I don't think has a big impact either way, to be honest. I think both are always up for this game and will be again. Both seem to be struggling to put points up. A little harder to believe in Maris's case. I know they're doing the whole rotating quarterback deal with Hayden Mikesell as well as Dontrell Jackson Jr., two really good players. So, hopefully the Red Hawks can get some things going, and I think it'll be really tough this week against what I think is a really good Brother Rice defense. Now, yeah, they gave up 34 points to Providence last week. Well, number one, Providence is really good, and number two, the Rice defense literally never got off the field in that game, and eventually you're going to wear down, and that's I think was certainly part of it. You give Providence credit there, but this is still a really good Brother Rice defense. So I think that makes things a little harder for the Red Hawks. Just because of that, I'm going to take Brother Rice. And again, Brother Rice had their own issues offensively. Could not get the passing game going whatsoever. Ben Summers did not have a very good game against Providence. Hopefully they can get some answers on the passing game if they can. Willie Shaw is a dangerous young man every time he touches the football. So, again, should be another great game for the Southside Super Bowl. I am going to stick with Rice getting a close win over Marist. Game that I'm going to cover, Mount Carmel hosting Loyola. Again, Loyola kind of still tinkering with the offense a bit here, running in a couple of different quarterbacks, saw some different running backs last week. Took the Ramblers about 3 quarters to kind of get things going, but finally figured it out and pulled away from St. Rita late. Mount Carmel, a nice win over Montini last week. So again, both are playing well. I again, very mixed on this game. I'm going to take Loyola. I don't feel great about it. But again, I've got Ramblers ranked number 2 in the state for a reason, so I'm going to stick behind that ranking. But again, Mount Carmel is number 6, so this wouldn't exactly be a shocker either way. I'm going to take Wheaton South over St. Charles East. And again, Wheaton South is 3-0. St. Charles East, a really tough loss last week to Glenbard North, needing to bounce back here. I don't think there's any question. Wheaton South really has not been tested yet. That's my big concern in this ball game. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a sinus thing going on. So, again, I'm going to go with the Tigers, Wheaton South to get the win over St. Charles East. But again, that's another one that could go either way. Another interesting game all of a sudden. Huntley taking on Cary Grove. Huntley, big win over Prairie Ridge last week. Then, of course, prior to that, we had Jacobs beating Huntley. And so the Fox is kind of all over the place right now. Cary Grove, I'm just sticking with because, the Trojans have been as good and as consistent as anybody in the Fox. I'm going to take Cary Grove again. Have no idea what to expect out of that conference for right now, which is cool. Which means basically you got a 4-team race, which we kind of haven't had in a while. So that's exciting. I definitely plan on getting up to the Fox Valley a little bit later this year, but I'll go with Cary Grove there. Immaculate Conception versus Bishop Mack in Kankakee. Always tough to win at Bishop Mack. There's no doubt about it. That is not an easy place to go on the road to pull off a road win. Gonna stick with the Knights, though. I like the combination offensively this year between Danny Cronin, who's having a big year, by the way, because everybody's keying on Kyle Franklin at running back. So, again, there's enough kind of diversity offensively that I think the Knights can be able to figure some things out. Bishop Mac, again, they also can mix things up. I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to say a mirror image. They're a little bit different, but, Ty Hiller, quarterback for Bishop Mac. You got a couple of quality backs, and I know Jackson and Harris for Bishop Mac. So another great game, probably a very tight game. Again, a little bit nervous just because I'm going against the home team here in a tight game, but I will go with Immaculate Conception to get the road win. Lake Forest, Lake Zurich. What can we expect? Boy, I don't know. It's another one, a kind of a little bit of a head scratcher here. I'm going to take Lake Forest. I don't know. I've just had a feeling about the Scouts this year. Lake Zurich, for whatever reason, has not been able to get some things going, especially offensively. It's been a struggle the last couple of years, honestly, for Lake Zurich. And I think if anyone needs this game, I definitely think it's Lake Zurich needs to get the win here. But Lake Forest defensively, Riley Mills, Mac Uline, there's some real talent there. And the Scouts always seem to find enough offense to get things done. So, again, I think Lake Forest gets the win there. Maroa, we're going to throw some small school games in here every once in a while. Makes it a little more exciting. And for you big school people, it gets you off your toes a little bit, make you do a little bit of homework, myself included. So, Maroa taking on Williamsville. Williamsville, outside the Springfield area, have really been a power now for a handful of years, and certainly in the smaller classes in Maroa. I mean, Coach Jobst has done a terrific job with that program every year. I'm going to go with Maroa. I think Maroa just, again, big-time program. They seem to find ways to win in those big games, and I'm going to take the Trojans to get the win over Williamsville on the road. Lincoln Way East, Bolingbrook, again. Bolingbrook coming off a big win over St. Charles North, and then you obviously have to ask the question, okay, was North overrated? Maybe, kind of. We'll see. But again, we had this talk Thursday on Pigskin Preview, and I'll continue to talk about how, Bolingbrook has a talent to match up with really anyone in the state of Illinois. And I think what the problem has been for the Raiders the last few years, and I haven't seen it mentioned too much, is just overall numbers and depth haven't been great. And as the seasons have worn on, Bolingbrook has kind of had some injuries and that have really played a big impact. But I think the Raiders right now, they're pretty healthy from what I know going into this. A lot of talent there. I'm a big fan of Devin Suggs, the quarterback, and John Williams, the offensive lineman committed to Cincinnati, and Trevor Borland and Justin Walters. So there's plenty of star power to counter what Lincoln Way East does. I think the big difference here, though, is that I think Lincoln Way East defensively is definitely going to try to take away the run game from Bolingbrook. And if you take away the run game, can the Raiders get the passing game going well enough to kind of offset what Lincoln Way can do? Could wind up being a very close game. And again, the way things are laid out this year, I mean, outside of maybe East St. Louis, is there a dominant team out there this year? No, I don't think so. So we shall see. But I will go at Lincoln Way East in that ball game. Hinsdale Central, Oak Park River Forest. I mean, the Huskies need this one pretty bad at home as well. I like Hinsdale Central. I like Hinsdale Central defensively in particular. They have been consistently strong all season long, and I'm going to go with the Red Devils there. And then finally, through another game out in the western part of the state, all of a sudden these two are conference teammates, if you will. Sterling, Geneseo, both in the Western Big Six now, which again I thought was a great addition for that Quad City-based conference to bring these both in. Both 4A, 5A have been power programs for a while. Sterling, I'm going to take the Golden Warriors to get the win over Geneseo. I just think Sterling's got a lot going on. I think it's been a really strong program. I mean, for several years, but especially the last couple of years, they've been able to reload, and Coach Schlemmer's done a really nice job with that program. So again, I think Sterling gets the win over Geneseo. Point total, TF North, TF South. Again, I'm a TF North meteor. I cannot pick that game one way or the other. It's unfair. So that's why I make it the point total. 63 is my point total. So again, to recap my winning, we hope, picks: Rice over Marist, Loyola over Mount Carmel, Wheaton South over St. Charles East, Cary Grove over Huntley, Immaculate Conception over Bishop Mack, Lake Forest over Lake Zurich, Maroa Forsyth over Williamsville, Lincoln Way East over Bolingbrook, Hinsdale Central over OPRF, and Sterling over Geneseo, and the point total 63. So there you go. Appreciate it, everybody. Check back off and check the Edgy Free board, and listen to the post-game show on Fridays, 11:30, right after High School Lights, and listen and tune in. We take your calls. It's a good time. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Get out. Go watch a game in person. Bye.